A contorted corpse hung from the utility pole, apparently an emergency repair worker whose body was wedged at an unnatural angle between the metal brackets, his face frozen in agony. Matt merely glanced at it coldly before continuing on his way. He had seen too many similar scenes along the way. Shopkeepers frozen in the act of pushing open their doors, couples embracing in death at bus stops, taxi drivers slumped over steering wheels. The entire city of Buenos Aires had become a vast open-air graveyard, not a single living bird in sight. Just last night, a sleepy neighbor stood at his window, bewildered by the crowd of people waving lanterns. They frantically gestured, trying to warn him not to open the window. But this unusual behavior only piqued his curiosity. The instant he leaned out, those seemingly harmless snowflakes gently settled on his face. Within seconds, his body stiffened and collapsed onto the windowsill. His wife rushed over, shaking his shoulders in confusion, completely unaware of the snowflakes landing on her bare arm. The next moment, she too slumped lifelessly to the floor. As dawn broke, Matt realized hiding meant waiting for death. With help, he donned a heavy winter coat, a gas mask, and gloves, ensuring every inch of skin was sealed. Friends nervously cheered him on as he pushed open the door. Indeed, the deadly blue snowflakes posed no threat as long as they didn't touch skin directly. Matt cast a heavy glance at the bodies of Center and Russo buried beneath the snow. Taking a deep breath, he set off toward the city center. An eerie silence enveloped the entire city. Doors and windows of buildings lining the streets stood wide open, yet no sign of life was visible. When he finally reached the downtown square where last night's protests had erupted, the sight before him was suffocating. Hundreds of protesters lay sprawled across the snow-covered ground. A biting wind howled, whipping snowflakes through the air. Matt pulled his coat tighter around himself and continued walking down the deserted streets, clinging to a faint hope of finding other survivors. Just as he was beginning to numb himself to the cold, a sharp whistle suddenly pierced the dead silence. Matt alertly scanned the direction of the sound. Through the swirling snow, he glimpsed a soldier in Argentine military uniform standing at the center of the intersection, holding a submachine gun. But when he blinked and looked again, the figure had vanished. Matt realized he might be hallucinating from prolonged exposure to the snowy environment. He dared not delay, quickening his pace toward the nearby Bartolome train station. The scene inside was equally harrowing. Corpses littered every corner of the platform. Some froze mid-stride, others huddled in corners, all frozen in the final moments of their lives. A train packed with passengers lay motionless on the tracks, surrounded by scattered bodies of travelers who had collapsed in the snow while trying to flee. Just as Matt prepared to leave, he suddenly caught a faint tapping sound through his gas mask. Turning, he was stunned to see over a dozen terrified faces frantically pounding against the train windows. The double-paned soundproof glass completely muffled their cries for help. One girl, quick-witted in her desperation, used lipstick to scrawl a desperate plea for help on the frosted window pane. Matt cautiously circled around to the other end of the car, entering through a door not yet breached by the snow. The sight that met him was suffocating. Over a dozen survivors huddled in a cramped space at the rear of the car, while the passageway leading to other cars was strewn with bodies, victims who had tragically encountered the deadly snow while